All right, so not too long ago, we had a viewer ask us to do a short piece on how to connect RV Life on the phone to their vehicle through Android Auto so that they can use that feature to navigate, obviously, while they're pulling their rig. And so we're just gonna walk through that process. So it turns out, actually, I have a new phone here and I've got the RV Life app installed in it, but I haven't used it yet, haven't connected it to the truck. I think I've got it connected via like Bluetooth, you know, just the phone to the truck, but I haven't used the RV Life on this phone yet. So we're just gonna hop in here real quick and see if we can get this set up. It should be a fairly easy process. And what I mean by that is we really shouldn't have to do much here other than really just open up Android Auto in the vehicle and select the RV Life app, and we should be good to go. Having said that, there are three things that you need to make sure you do first. So number one, obviously you need to have the RV Life app on your phone installed, ready to go, signed in, and then you need to have the Android Auto activated or ready to use on both your phone and in your vehicle. And then once you've done those three things, again, all we should have to do here is just open up Android Auto in the vehicle and open up RV Life. So let's give it a shot here. So Android Auto takes a second here to get connected and open up. And here we go. We're already in the RV Life app. So it just came straight up. Now, it may not do that for you. And so what you need to do then is just get to the list of apps that Android Auto has access to on your phone. So if you just scroll down and open up that RV Life, there we go. Now, you can go about opening up trips one of two ways. So you can do it either on your phone through the RV Life app. You can just open it up and go to your next planned travel day and do it that way, or you can do it from the screen here on Android Auto. So if we just hit where to and go to our trips, Candace is the planner here, so I don't really look at this much. I normally just get in and hit the navigate button, but looks like Candace has got some good planning going on here through the summer of 2026. Let's go ahead and bring up one of our past trips though, just to see how easy this is. So if we open up what we did this last summer, and let's just pick a place here. Let's just go back to the Texan RV Park and campus. That's where we went through the NRVTA school. We just open that up right there, and it brings up, I think probably, yep, it's gonna bring up a couple of different routing options for you, and then you just select whichever route that you prefer and hit that navigate button, and there we go. So now we are in navigate mode, and this thing will plan us a route or give us a route that is safe to pull this ginormous RV behind us. So as you can see, this is pretty simple. There's really nothing to this. As long as you've got the RV Life app installed on your phone, and then your phone and the vehicle can communicate via Android Auto, that's really all there is to it. Now, obviously, the benefit to this is that you're using your screen that's already in your truck or your tow vehicle. You don't have to have another navigation screen mounted up on the dash, you know, something like a Garmin or whatever their other brands are out there. You don't have to have something else taking up that space on your dashboard. You might as well go ahead and take advantage of your infotainment system and all of the different things that it can do. So we used to have the Garmin navigation for RVs, the unit that was like a 10-inch freaking display that sat up on the dashboard, and it was just so big and obnoxious that once we realized that RV Life was now compatible with Android Auto, that was kind of a no-brainer. We got that big screen off of our dash. Well, we kind of did. It actually made room for a different screen for our backup camera for the RV, but you know, that was a lot smaller, and had I not switched over to the Android Auto with RV Life, you know, I'd have this big Garmin screen up there, plus I'd have our big screen for our backup camera, and you know, at some point you just can't see out the windshield. So when we found out that RV Life and Android Auto were compatible, we started testing that out right away, and I'll be honest with you, you know, it's been really, really good to us. You know, I think all navigation apps out there get a little wonky sometimes. You know, even Google Maps, when we use it, you know, sometimes we'll be driving down the highway at 70 miles an hour and it'll say turn left here. Well, right, they're just little things like that that I think happen with all navigation systems. But having said that, this navigation has never taken us a route that was unsafe for hauling this big 45-foot RV behind us. So in that respect, we have had zero issues with this RV Life app. There have been some times where it may have come up with a route that maybe we didn't understand why it was taking us that way, but it's always been a safe route. And we've never been in one of those situations where we've had to back this pig up, you know, 300 yards because, you know, it got us onto a dead-end road, or, you know, there was a low clearance ahead. It's always been really reliable in giving us safe routes. So anyway, I hope this helps for whoever it was out there that requested that we do this piece. This is super simple to set up. Again, as long as you've got that RV Life app on your phone and you've got Android Auto, you shouldn't have any issues with this. And by the way, it works with Apple CarPlay as well. I just don't have any experience with that because I don't have an Apple phone, and that's for good reason. But anyway, again, super simple to set up. So whoever it was out there that asked for this, I hope this helps out. So what are you feeding them?
Apples and grapes.
Okay.
So we are here in Pigeon Forge at the Three Bears General Store, and at the back of the store, upstairs, they have this bear display. They currently have 2 bears. They used to have 3. Anyway, they now have these 2 guys, girl and a boy. They were rescued from, I think, the national park, and they got too used to humans, so they can't be let out in the wild.
We actually had one of these in our campsite last night, just strolling right through. He was a pretty big dude, too.
He looked like it, he or she.
Just literally went right through our front yard.
Yeah, probably what, 2 feet from the front door?
Obviously, we're in bear country here, but we weren't sure what to expect because there's no warnings or anything around the campsite, around the campground, you know.
Yeah, so we weren't sure if they were
Active.
active in that area, but now we know.
Now we know.
All right, if you saw our video a few weeks ago about taking this rig up to Grand Design, I think we mentioned in there that they messed up a whole bunch of my slam latches, and they did that in the course of doing some paint work to all of those doors. But while we were there, we noticed that there were like 4 of these slam latches that weren't working right. Now, they did do a little bit to them. They made some adjustments to them, but they've just been a little bit wonky since then. A little bit sticky, and then a couple of them will just sometimes not want to latch. I think it's the way, you know, the frame is sitting. Sometimes, you know, these things obviously will twist and bend a little bit, and that's to be expected. But I think because of that, sometimes these things just don't quite latch correctly, especially now that Grand Design really messed this up. So when this kind of stuff happens, I like to just take these things apart, pull them off of the door, and just kind of clean them out a little bit, put a little bit of silicone lubricant in here to help it operate just a little bit, and then we'll make an adjustment to part of the frame over there where this latches onto the door itself. So we'll make an adjustment to that as well, and hopefully that'll kind of solve our problem, because I really don't want to be going down the highway with one of these things not latched all the way. So these things are pretty simple. Taking them off is super easy. It's just 4 screws. Just unscrew it from the inside of the door, pull it apart. And then basically what we've got here is we've got 2 pieces. We've got the door handle itself over here, and it just operates this little mechanism. And then what that does is it pushes down here and it pulls up our latch like that. So this one's a little bit sticky right now. It's not too bad. But like I said, whenever I have trouble with these, I like to just pull them apart, clean them out, get them lubricated again, and then make any adjustments that I need. So that's what we're gonna do here. And I've been using this Quick Lube spray lubricant for a lot of different things. Actually, I think I got this free from a Grand Design rally. So we're just gonna clean this up, put a little bit of lubricant in there, put this back together and make our adjustments. And you can actually take this little piece here, this little mechanism off here. There's just a little nut in here and it's got a little capture on the other side. And so I just like to take this apart so that I can really clean it out. Take that out, don't lose that screw. You're gonna need that if you do this. So I can pull this piece all the way out. They put some grease in here. I'm not a big fan of the grease in there. I would prefer to have just a little bit of silicone lubricant. So I'm just gonna clean all that grease off of there. And then the same in here. These things will get a little bit of water in them. It's usually not too bad. Really nothing that you need to worry about. In my opinion, these should all have gaskets on the outside, but you know, it really doesn't hurt anything to have a little bit of water in here. And I think you can actually take this thing all the way out. If you're real careful, don't lose the spring in there. So yeah, you can pull this thing all the way out. And you don't want to tighten this back up too tight because then it'll really make this, this little mechanism here hard to move. So really, all we're gonna do here is just kind of snug this up a little bit and we'll see what it feels like. Oop, that's the wrong way though. There we go. That feels pretty good. Like I said, it doesn't have to be super tight, otherwise it's gonna be really hard to operate. And then I just started having some issues with my spray lubricant here. So it doesn't really spray out, but it will still drip all over this just fine. Maybe. There we go. Just operate that a few times and then it should be pretty smooth to operate. Yeah, it's much better than it was. So that's pretty good. So from here, we're just gonna go back over here and we're gonna put this thing back in place and talk about just a couple of quick do's and don'ts with these things if you're taking them off and putting them back on. All right, and then putting this thing in is just as easy as taking it out. So just pop that outside on top there, get this lined up in here, and make sure you have one screw handy so you can get this thing started in here. All right, now a key here is we don't want to over tighten these, because what happens when we over tighten is it'll actually draw this in real tight. And this is just fiberglass and I think some plastic in here. And so if you over tighten this, what happens is it will actually just pull that fiberglass in and you'll have like this big indented area here around it. And if you've got a full body paint job like we do, eventually that paint will crack. Ask us how we know. That's why this thing had to go back into Grand Design in the first place, is when they put this thing together the first time from the factory, they gronked this on here and it pulled that paint in and then it just cracked over time. So what I like to do is just get these so that we've taken the gap out of here. We can no longer see a gap, and then get it nice and, you know, just snug. And then I like to give it just a little bit of a turn extra, just to make sure that everything's tight. But we definitely don't want to over tighten these, because especially if you have a full body paint job, it will lead to problems. All right, so there we go. That baby's in. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get serious with this hammer. And basically what I'm gonna do here, because this thing is where the latch latches onto, basically in the door frame. And basically it's back a little bit, it's inset a little bit too far, which means that sometimes you have to push really hard on the door to get it to latch. And so we're gonna get real technical here and precise with a hammer. And we're just gonna tap this out just a tiny bit until we can get that thing to latch a little bit easier. And that may do it right there. It really doesn't take much. There we go. And then what we want to do is we want to take a closer look at the inside of this latch where everything comes together with the door shut to make sure that it is latched securely. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to shut this door, and then we're going to kind of get into the basement area in there and take a look from the back side. All right, so here's what we're looking at here on the back side of this door. We got this latch down here. You see how it comes down nice and far. So that's securely latched right there. And I think we got that beat in there just about perfectly. There's no real play here. There is a little bit if you pull on it hard, but there's not a lot of play here. And it's easy to shut from the outside. And then one thing I do see over here while I'm looking, and this is something that I find quite often, we've got a screw coming loose right here. You know, that's to be expected. You know, we're going down the road at 60, 65 miles an hour on these wonderful highways. So I'm just going to grab a screwdriver and we'll get that tightened up real quick. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, adjusting that screw right there, making sure this is all nice and tight down in there, that might have actually thrown this off a little bit. So let's try this again. Yeah. Kind of as I suspected. So when I tightened that screw down, that little latch inside got pulled inward a little bit, and now it's not wanting to latch. So we're going to have to recalibrate with our hammer. Let's see what we got there. Well, it latches, but it's not quite as smooth or as easy as I'd like. There we go. I think that's got it. So there, that was a pretty simple job, a pretty quick one. I know it's one of the little ones, but what I find is living in an RV like this, it's all those little things that just get frustrating over time. And generally what happens is I will let them build up and build up until I've got a list of them and then kind of take care of them all at once. That's probably not how I should do this. I should probably, you know, take care of all this stuff as I see it. But I'm a bit lazy at times. So anyway, another quick, easy, simple fix. The thing to keep in mind there is just make sure you don't over torque that when you're putting that slam latch back on, because you're gonna have problems down the road if you do that. So anyway, I think that's it for repairs for the day. So what's so funny?
So we just got here to Gatlinburg. It was about a, 20-mile drive?
Yeah, through the winding mountains.
Through the winding mountains.
Maybe we need a trash song?
Maybe we need a trash song. All right, don't worry, there's nothing wrong with your TV. We, however, did have some pretty frustrating technical difficulties the other day, but we did want to bring you some of this footage. This is from Ober Mountain in Gatlinburg.
Think?
Pretty impressive.
Did we actually tell everybody where we were? Ober Mountain?
Yes.
Okay, so we're coming down off of this, whatever, gondola thing. Whoa, ski lift deal. Yep, I don't like when it does that.
Yeah.
Observation deck up there. That's what we just did. And wow, what a view.
Yeah.
You know, we've been to the Rocky Mountains in Colorado and so forth, and that's beautiful too, but this is, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Everything's greener. Lots of green, not so, just barren. That's more than just pine trees.
Yes. Yeah, there's, fall hasn't really started here, so the leaves haven't started changing colors, but you do have the various shades of green.
I just wanted to note on this, if you've been in the military or you're in the military, you get into this joint for free the Fun Pass, which is the cheapest one. It's like $50.
Yeah.
But we saved $50 today. So no family members, so she couldn't use her family member ID to get in for free.
50%.
Yeah, 50%. So $25 a piece then.
Yeah.
So that's for the Fun Pass. I think it's like $50. If you want to do some of the other things, they have higher packages here. I think $129 is like the top package, and I think that includes like the zip line. That pretty much includes everything. The zip line alone is like $99. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out. If you've ever been in the military, or if you're in the military now, the Fun Pass is free, and I don't know if you can get like a credit, towards one of the other plans or one of the other packages, but hey, if you're here, it might be worth asking.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna ride this down, and we're still stopped for some reason. Don't know why. But we're gonna ride this down, and then we're gonna go find some place to get a drink.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.